Good. So welcome everybody. Today we will talk about finance domain from PMBOK 8. This is what used to be called um, cost management in PMBOK 6 edition, May 21st, 2026. Thank you for taking the time. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, raise your hand, open up your mic. Today we will talk a little bit about the PMI exam in general, like common pitfalls, like not having a study plan or a study partner, also doing passive learning, only reading books or watching videos without doing questions or challenging your brain to do something different to make it exciting. And we will, of course, do some questions and talk about finance. So let's start with a question. I'm going to write down in the chat the number of the question number one. So the question is project cost budget consists of. Read the options and I will start marking the options you guys and girls say here, as usual. I think Maria is not to this, but basically you just vote and you can say if this question is waterfall or agile. Okay. So we have a vote for D. Jaroslav. And is waterfall. I would agree. So it is waterfall, yeah. Mainly because we have a triple constraint, time, cost, and scope, right? Time, cost, scope. And anybody else? Only we're going for one option, D.
Actually, I'm debating myself right now. Should I pick a B? But it's
No?
too late. I'm gonna stick with D. I think it's B.
Okay. So let's take a look. Well, first of all, the main idea with this question, why did I bring it? Because we need to differentiate, especially for the exam, two things. The first one is so there's a vote for B. Okay, good. No worries. One thing is the project budget. Okay, that's the first thing we need to know. And the other thing is the question itself, cost. Sorry, this is the cost budget or the project budget is the first thing, and the other one is the cost baseline. Okay, so the project budget includes the management reserve and the contingency reserve, while the cost baseline is only the sum of the activity cost, right? Plus, I will show you a graphic, don't worry, plus the contingency reserve. Okay, and the cost, the project budget is the baseline, the cost baseline, plus the management reserve. Okay, I will show you a graphic in a bit, so don't worry too much about it. So there are two types of reserves. When I learned this, when I was doing my master's, I didn't pay much attention to this. Until now, I understand why it's so important. One is the management reserve, and the other one is the contingency. So could someone tell me the difference between the contingency and management reserve, please? What is the difference between them? Does anybody know? It has to do with risk and who
Yes,
manages.
contingency provide funding in case of any risk will materialize. The
Mhm.
management reserve is taking care of unforeseen
Mm-hmm.
cost of the project.
Yeah, unforeseen risks. Usually this is management reserve is managed by the management or by a committee. So it's out of the reach of the PM. Okay. So we can say it's part of the committee. And contingency reserve is for known risks. Okay. And usually it's nearby for the PM's management. Okay. So all this that I tried to draw here is just to say that this is D. The answer is D. How come B no? Because B is accounting the contingency reserve twice, because in the cost baseline, you already have this. So it's close, but no, because cost baseline includes contingency reserve. And then the project budget includes cost baseline that includes contingency reserve plus management reserve. Okay. So in real life, okay, so here, this is the graphic. The answer is D. The cost baseline includes the contingency reserve of the work packages and the contingency reserve for the activities. So why is this important? Because in real life, we can only manage what we know. We manage what we know. Okay. So earned value management is done on the scope baseline, right? Because we know there are risks here. So we manage this. So we do earned value management on this, on the, sorry, my bad. We do earned value management on the cost baseline. That means only on this. We know what we know. Okay. We only do earned value management on the cost baseline. We cannot do earned value management on what we don't know, which would be the management reserve. This is for unknown risks. Okay. Any comments or questions?
No, all clear. Thank you.
Okay. So management reserve is for unknown risks. Management reserve is included in the project budget. Cost baseline includes the contingency reserve that is for known risks, okay? And that it will be part of the earned value management. That's why it is important to differentiate that project budget is different than cost baseline. Are they the same in real life? Usually, yes. Usually, yes. Because usually we don't know the management reserve. It's like a money that is hidden from us. So we don't really manage it anyways. So usually we just work with the cost baseline in real life. Good. So that's the kind of questions that trick people the most. But now you see the link between risk management and cost management. Good. So this is the finance performance domain. It is one domain, what used to be before a knowledge area. So finance used to be called cost management, and it used to be a knowledge area. Nowadays is called a performance domain for PMBOK 8. But basically it's the same thing. So we plan the cost management of the project, we estimate the cost, we develop the budget, and then we monitor and control with earned value management, let's say, okay? So we do the planning, the estimation, we develop the budget, and we control it with earned value management, among others. Why is finance my taste for my conclusion? Why do they call it finance now? Because besides cost management, they're also wondering how are we financing the project? So it's a little bit more strategic. Let's say, how are we getting the money to invest in the project? Is it a loan? Is it crowdfunding? Is it maybe a donation? Where is it? When am I getting the money? So that's why they are putting financial now. Our ITTOs remain the same as well. They are not the same, but they're pretty similar. And same thing as before. Now the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs, especially tools and techniques, there is a dedicated a chapter for them in the PMBOK 8. I like PMBOK 8 a lot. So if you're a PMI member, even if you're preparing for the current version, you can read it. It's very easy to read. I didn't like PMBOK 7 at all, to be honest. So to plan the financial management of the project, you get the charter. Of course, you're in planning. You have to be aligned with the business. You get the schedule, documents, and so on. And then you get two outputs, as I was just mentioning. Financial management plan is very similar to cost management plan, right? But now you have the new thing that is funding strategy, is something a little bit new for my taste. So here is the definition. Financial management plan basically has to do with the explanation of how costs will be estimated, budgeted, monitored, and controlled. So usually whenever you talk about a plan, you talk about how. That's a key word. It also defines the measurement units, let's say dollars, pesos, euros, whatever you're using as a measurement unit. The cost accuracy and precision, how precise do you want the estimation to be? Is it going to be rough order magnitude or order of magnitude or definite budget? What percentage? Is it going to be minus 50 plus 50? Or is it going to be minus 10 plus 20% in terms of precision? And what are the links of the WBS with the budget itself? And how are you going to do the control threshold? That means when are you going to take control in case the budget is getting out of control? And now something that is a little bit more strategic, how are we going to fund the project? Is it going to be a lump sum? Is it going to be internal budget, incremental funding by phases? That might be because different areas of the organization is financing it. Is it going to be external investor, government, NGO grants, or crowdfunding? So this is something new, as I was mentioning, because now the exam is asking more strategic things. So let's do another question. It's okay if it is right or wrong, just try to participate. So which technique is applied to monitor the status and adequacy of contingency and management reserves computed for the project? There are the options, you can pick one. This is question number 2. Okay, so there is a vote for D. Another vote for D. So I guess we're going for D this time. And the answer is correct. Quantitative risk assessment could make sense, right? But we're talking about management reserve itself as a tool or technique. And as I was just mentioning, reserve analysis could include um, the contingency for known risks and management reserve for unknown risk. So remember, management, how did I learn it? I said, well, management reserve is when you have to go to the manager and ask permission. That's how I learned it. And contingency is basically there's a contingent event that you knew it could happen, and since you knew it, you had some money or time for that. Yes, Jaroslav, go ahead.
So, I'm sorry to be, I don't want to just interrupt as much, but okay, if we don't know what the management reserve is, in the real life, I know it's not really applicable to the scenario. In the real life, how we can possibly make the analysis if we don't know what the one of the factor is?
Well, that's a good question. Usually in real life, the management reserve is usually learned by lessons learned. So you say, I usually have like 5% extra budget that I have to use, or 7 or 10% extra budget that I have to use, that I didn't plan to use, that I didn't know something could happen. So basically, the organization, usually the PMO, or just the knowledge of the organization, lessons learned, that would be the OPAS, organizational process assets, or the PMO itself says, usually we would have between 5% to 7% of management reserve, right? And basically that is like from previous learnings of risks you did not identify on time. Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
that's a good question. Very good question, actually. And it has to do with the maturity of the organization. So reserve analysis, good. So let's see now. Estimate cost. Honestly, nothing has really changed much. The only thing I would highlight is that expert judgment, usually it's a very important tool or technique in all the processes. Nowadays 49, sorry, yeah, nowadays with the current Eco 2021, but 40 with the Eco 2026, okay? But for estimation, either cost or time, expert judgment is very important because you're using a specialized experience to guide decisions. It is very common in estimating risk and planning. Analogous estimation is very high level, as it says here. You use similar projects, it's very fast, low effort, and less precise. So if you have little time in an scenario question, you would use analogous estimating. Parametric uses a keyword that is an algorithm. So usually you use units times a rate, for example. It's more accurate, and you can also use historic data. Bottom up, you go from the low activities and build up the budget until you have the whole project. Multi-point estimating, usually, I think all of you know it since I know you all. I have talked to all of you about this, but I will just repeat it. You could use the paired analysis that have two kind of formulas, the beta and the triangular. The triangular usually is just optimistic plus most likely plus pessimistic divided by 3, triangular, 3 data points. And the beta is basically optimistic plus 4 times the most likely plus pessimistic divided by 6. This is beta. Basically, it's giving a weight to the middle, the most likely number, okay? Back when I took the exam, knowing this was very important. Nowadays, not really important, but all you gotta know is that you will have 3 different estimations, okay? Usually, it captures uncertainty and reduces bias. And you can also do simulations to see the likelihood of the actual estimate of the project. You also use different techniques like alternative analysis to consider different options. Reserve analysis, we just talked about that. And you could use decision making like voting, either by majority, like how many countries decide who is going to be the president. Plurality basically is just whoever is the highest, that's it. Majority is half plus one, both kind of thing. Plurality is just the biggest one. Consensus, like you use in poker planning. So this sounds easy, but many times when you see in the question what decision making they are taking, you would pick one option or the other. Let's say planning poker that is used in Agile uses consensus, okay? So you gotta be careful of that. And the outputs or of this estimate cost, of course, is the cost estimates, the basis of estimations or estimates, which basically is the model you used, the currency or measurements you used, assumptions, and so on. That's why you also update the assumption log and lessons learned log. Okay, so that is estimate cost. So let's look at tricky question. This is earned value management. Many people struggle with this, but let's try to break it down. So you have the following data of work packages, from the WBS. Please calculate the cost performance index. That is the CPI. I hope all of you know the formula. And the planned cost is $80,000. The percent of completion is 80%, and the actual cost incurred is $8,000. Which honestly, hold on, yeah, that's the data. So calculate the CPI. I'm gonna do it myself here. I actually think there is a 0 missing here. So let me just fix that. Sorry for that. This is $84,000. $84,000. I missed a 0. So we have a vote for A. Oh, sorry. Is this? Yeah, this is the. So we have a vote for A. Question 3, I think this is. Okay, so look, who can tell me how do you calculate CPI? Who remembers?
Is the earned value divided the actual cost?
Yes, so it is earned value divided the actual cost. So in this case, the earned value, we are going to calculate it multiplying the plan value times the percentage of completion of complete. In this case, it's gonna be 80,000. You can see what I'm writing, right? I hope.
Yeah.
Good. So this is gonna be 80,000 times 0.8. So let's see how much that is. So that is gonna be 64,000. Okay. So in this case, we have that earned value is this amount. Let's call it 64 just to keep it simple. And the actual cost is given is 84. So it's gonna be 84 here. So in this case, we are going to divide 64 by 84. Oops. 64 divided by 84. That is gonna be 0.76. So this is gonna be C. So maybe you did it the other way around, or who knows what happened, but that's okay. If you get one question, like one question of earned value management, that would be a lot. But basically, what this number is telling me is that for each dollar that I am spending in my project, I am getting out of value 0.76. Okay. So for each dollar that I am investing in my project, I am getting only 76 cents back. That means I'm over budget. That means that is bad. I'm over budget. My performance is bad. I'm getting less money for each dollar than that I expend. Okay, so that is typical earned value management question you might get. Maybe what you guys don't know is this little part here. Earned value management is plan value times the percentage of completion. Okay, good. So 0.76. Okay, good. So now we go to monitoring and controlling. This is the last one. Very simple, as you may see. Here you can use different inputs. Obviously, the project management plan. Well, that's where you have all the data of what you plan, especially the financial management plan, the baseline, the cost baseline, and performance measurements baseline, like the scope baseline and the schedule baseline. Lessons learned, right, to take action. And then you are going to do that analysis, especially earned value management analysis. We just saw it, trend analysis and reserve analysis. To complete performance index, which is part of earned value management. Project management information system. All of you may know by now that PMIS is something like nowadays ERPs, like enterprise resource planning systems, or CRMs, client relationship management systems, or just a physical file where you have all the information of the project, right? And this is part of the configuration management plan with versioning, but also is very important for change management. The output you got from monitoring and controlling. Okay, you get the following outputs. Work performance information, right? Basically, this is the work performance data that you convert in information, like we just did with the formulas, and then work performance reports. Okay, so that is what you get um, as an output. And then you can also get funding proposals, very important. This is new. This no one really talked about this in PMBOK 7. And a funding proposal could be all the needs dedicated for funding in the project. Each phase could have different funding requests because each phase could be financed by different departments. Also, cost estimates and reserves are prepared as part of the business value proposition, right? And just remember that the ECHO up to July 2026 is pretty much people, processes, and little bit about business environment, but now is growing to 26% business environment. So it's in the after July version, business environment is very important, and you can see it in the PMBOK 8. It's a little bit more dedicated to business environment. Okay, so this is the common earned value management graphic, let's call it. Okay, so you have the cost variance, as you know, earned value minus actual cost. The cost performance index is EV divided by AC. The schedule variance is earned value minus PV, and schedule performance index is EV divided by PV. So if you see, you always have the same variable as the first variable, that is earned value, which is the name of the technique or tool. This is the S curve. You might get a question called hotspot in the exam where you have to say, like, how is the project doing, or how do you calculate this or that? In this case, you have the earned value management down. The cost variance is this here, right? The difference between actual cost and earned value. And schedule variance is the difference between plan value and earned value, okay? So this is behind the schedule and over budget, so it's not good neither on time or budget. That would be a conclusion you might have to press on the exam, okay? Any questions or comments so far?
Should this formula be really, memorized, or just to add more to understand or memorize? Because if we're not going to know how to get earn value, we're not going. And that was the prime example on that question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
That two of us get a little bit confused.
Mm-hmm.
So should in a real exam preparation, what you would suggest to memorize and learn, and or just to try to understand, and that's going to come back to you when during exam?
Well, you could either memorize them and dump them, like the first thing you do in the note. You will get a notepad or a physical, like, plastic that you can write on. Just dump it. If you memorize it, just dump it. But if you understand it, it's even better because, as I said, the name of the theory is earned value management. The first formula of the relevant formulas for the exam is always earned value. If you talk about cost, it's always going to be actual cost. If it's a variance, it's just a subtraction. If it's an index, it's a division, right? So if you know one, then you know the cousins. The cousins is a schedule variance. Again, always earned value management. Instead of actual cost, you use PV, right? So try to make it, like, try to practice it. You can use flashcards. Just go to the dollar store and get the flashcards or make them yourself and try to learn them. That would be the best, like, understand them. If not, just try to memorize them, 10 minutes before the exam and dump that information somewhere that you can use, okay? You might get 2 or 3 questions out of this, so no worries.
Well, so I have a quick question.
Yep.
When the exam starts, do they allow you to have a sheet of paper if you're taking the test at home?
Okay, that's a good question. And it's a very good question because I have noticed the proctors don't know what they're doing many times. That's my personal opinion because of what I have heard and what I have lived. So if you're taking it at home, you cannot have paper. You cannot. But you are supposed to, as in the real exam, you are supposed to have a digital notepad that is embedded in their software. But you can also have a board, like a marker board, that is completely erased, and you can show it to the proctor, and then they will let you write. That happened to me in the GRE. They were not gonna let me use it, and I said, well, the rules say I can use it. If you have any questions about those little things, I would reach out to PMI.org, contact and ask those little things, because many times the proctors don't know. But if you are clear and you have the proof you asked, you can use that. I know back in the day we used paper and pencil in the test center when I took it in 2018. Many people are telling me now that they give you the notepad in the computer or the plastified little thingy where you can use a marker. You can use a similar thing like the plastic thing at your home, right? And of course the notepad, okay? That's a good question. Good, so let's look at this question. Contingency reserves, I'm gonna put it here, are estimated and included in the cost baseline to take care of. So there are the options. Okay. So we have a vote for A. We have 2 votes for B. Okay, so we have a vote for A and 3 votes for B. Okay, so this is a tricky question. They want to trick you with different ways to call the same thing. Unknown are unknown risks. That's another way to call unknown risk. And we said already that unknown risk is management reserve, right? Management reserve. And we're talking here about contingency. So contingency reserved could be used for identified risk, and one of those could be identified accepted risk. This is basically the strategy to deal with the risk, the response strategy, right? That could be many things. You could escalate, you could transfer, you could accept, you can avoid, but this is a different topic. This is risk response strategy. The question is basically, what is the contingency reserve for? It's for identified risk. So the right answer is B. A is unknown risk, and for that we have management reserve. D and C are basically distractors. Okay. So in this case, it was for unknown risks. Okay. Sorry. It was for identified unaccepted risk. My bad. Okay. Because it's contingency reserve. So it is for A. My bad. Don't pay attention to this. That was my bad. So I know most of you. I know Jaroslav is in the study group. I know Maria is on one-on-one coaching, Janelle as well. I don't know Olu that much. But if any of you want to share what you're up to, what is your study plan and what are your pain points or anything like that, you can take a minute and share with us.
So, Olu is my PMP study partner, and he has his PMP. Is that right?
Me?
You asked
Correct.
who was in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my PMP years back.
Oh, you're PMP already.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get it?
2021, January.
Okay. And do you have any advice for these fellows that are looking for PMP certification?
Yes. First, get used to the terminologies, get used to the principles, then try to take each of the 49 groups and work groups and study them,
Mhm,
practice as much as possible, then you're good to go.
mhm.
The processes, the groups, know them by their names.
Yeah.
Then on the agile part, everything that agile is talking about, agile can help you to get quickly deep into waterfall because everything agile is talking about is the opposite of waterfall or what waterfall is talking about.
Mhm,
Everything we do in agile, we do them in waterfall,
mhm,
we do them differently. So it's talking the same thing, but it's just talking about the how. So then agile talks basically about value.
mhm.
So waterfall talk so much about plan. Yeah, plan, cost. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Learn the process groups, the processes, the now so-called domains before known as knowledge areas, right? Which are 10 currently. Uh, and I would say understand the technology behind all this would be important. Uh, some people know their information, but they get scared with a drag and drop or a hotspot question. And in Agile, I would say the roles are important. Let's call it product owner, a scrum master, team member, and the ceremonies also. Try to understand them. Let's say in the case of the ceremonies could be the sprint planning, right? The sprint planning. Also, let's say the backlog refinement, which also is known as backlog grooming. Let's say also one important ceremony for sure is the daily stand-up. Is run by the Scrum Master. Of course, the retrospective, which is kind of lessons learned with the team only, and the review, which is with the client and is to get feedback. Okay. So I would say those are the important things you need to know to differentiate what is a waterfall, what is agile, and learn your own way of hybrid. I know most of you are pretty much doing questions and getting ready to pass the exam before it changes. And one person that is here is gonna take the new version. So welcome, Ali. If you want to share where you are at with your PMP prep, that would be great. If not, that's okay. Welcome. I think we are only going to do one last question, and that's about it. But do you want to share anything, Ali?
Oh, sorry. I'm here with doing something, but I'm just getting started with my studying. Just now. So I'm very at the beginning, even though I've been doing it for a while, but I stop and go, and I'm just getting back into it.
Do you have your 35-hour course or not yet?
Yes, I've already done that.
Which one did you take?
I took one with a group of women that's called Women's in Tech.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with Echo, and she's the one who runs the group, but I did it like maybe a year and a half ago.
Okay, that's good enough still. Have you done your application or not yet?
I haven't submitted it, but it's completely done.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and are you planning to take the new version or the current
The
version?
new version. The new version.
In English?
In English, yes.
And which mock are you planning to use?
And that's what I haven't decided on yet.
Well,
Because everything that I learned from her 35-hour course was, based on the current exam. So I know that I
well,
have to.
yeah, you can use a study hall. The study hall already has the new version, so I can send you the link later.
Okay, perfect.
I know all the people that are here using it because I know most of the people that are here, I think. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So all of you but Ali know about William and me. We coach people either in French. William knows French. I know Spanish, and we both know English. So there are the options you have for coaching or like end-to-end solutions, or you can just keep coming to these live sessions. That's okay. They are for free. We're gonna keep doing them on Thursdays. Some days are gonna be run by William. He's near Montreal. He's from Cameroon, and sometimes it will be they would be run by me. I am in London, Ontario, and I am from Colombia. So why most people failed the exam? I would say passive learning, not having a plan, and I would say I did that myself. It took me like 2 or 3 years to get PMP certified. That's a saying, but I could also say it took me 2 weeks or 3. That's when I really decided to take questions and do questions and build a habit to do a lot of questions and only read whatever I didn't understand. Because before that, I was reading a lot of books, going to a lot of courses. I even have a master's degree in project management, which is awesome. But honestly, PMP it could be a little bit better than just a master's in terms of mm, payback, let's say, and cost benefit analysis. Having no accountability, that's another thing. Like you go here and there, um, and you don't have like an accountability group or partner or person that is, pushing you a little bit more. Uh, Wrong question solving approach. Sometimes or usually PMI gives you 2 or 3 really appealing options. You have to really do a thorough process of elimination because you have to pick the best one, not the second best one many times. And over reliance on free content. You really do need to buy at least a mock question, sorry, a group of mock exams, let's say from PMI Study Hall or Knowledge Hut, Rita, Andrew Ramdajal. Any of those are good, I would say. But get your mock exams. That's very important. And do 60 questions per day and a full mock in the weekend. If you cannot do that because of work, family, or whatever, just do at least 60 questions every other day. Every other day. Always read the wrong answers. And I bet most of you are PMI members. You know that if you're a PMI member, the exam is a little bit cheaper. So if you're a PMI member, use the PMI AI. Never try to challenge AI to say, which one is the right answer. No, just give AI the right answer. Otherwise, you're gonna get more confused. So if you use AI, just prompt AI like, I am preparing for PMP. I took this question. I know the answer is C. Please give me more explanation. Sometimes the feedback from the mock exams are not the best, so you can complement it with AI or with a partner, coach, or a study group. So what is PMI actually evaluating? PMI is not asking you to remember things like duplicate or memorize information, which is the basic element of Bloom's taxonomy, right? Neither understanding even, but what they are actually evaluating is that you can apply the knowledge. That's why we say that the exam is mostly decision making and situational judgment. And you need to have a leadership mindset. Let's say in case of agile, servant leadership is very important. Okay, so the exam tends to be more analytic and application oriented, nor not understanding or remember. So that is the key to pass the exam, to be able to apply or analyze. Okay, so let's do a question. This is question, I would say, 4. Which of the following statements is not true about cost baseline? So you can vote in the chat. Okay. Janelle, Jarosdal. So we have 2 votes for D. 3 votes for D, Maria. Okay. Yeah, it is D. So important thing, which statement is not true? Many times they will use little words like except or not true, things like that. And if you read too fast, well, A, B, and C are true, and you might just pick whichever of those, but you will not pick which is not true, which is D. Okay, so just be careful with that. Sometimes this test is like a reading test. They just want to trick you. And yes, it is once baselined, the project manager has complete authority to authorize further changes to it. No, not true. In waterfall, of course, this is a waterfall question. There is a change control board with a change control process, a change management plan, and so on. So that is the right answer. If you're more like I don't know, like a group person kind of thing, not one-on-one, I also run with my friend Gabor in UK and my friend Torga in Finland, that he's a volunteer in the Finland chapter, and Palak, which is part of the Dallas chapter in the US. We run a group of sessions called the PMPOS that has also mock questions. You can take a look here very quick. We run live sessions at 11 Eastern time. I think Jaros lies in that group, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we do, like you have mock questions, you have live sessions, very engaging group, I would say. It's only $300 and you get everything. And for now, I just want to help Ali very quick. Are you there, Ali, still or no?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Actually, I am part of Gabor's group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did pay the 300. I just haven't gotten around to it. Life happened, but I'm getting back into the group.
Well, get in. Tomorrow, Gabor is running the session tomorrow.
Okay.
So try to join, I would say. And I would say if you are taking the new version, the only thing you have to do is go to this website, pmi.org. And look, it says here, this learning product is designated for the current project management exam.
Yes.
You don't want that. So you want to press on this one, available on the new PMP exam page. You click here. I will send you the link anyways in the chat or whatever. So then you go down here and you look for the study hall again. Oh, here you go. Here it is. PMP, PMI study hall essentials.
Perfect.
And it says here, this learning product is designed for the new. That's the one you want.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm already using it with a couple of people.
Okay.
To be honest, you only get like some more like business-oriented questions because the exam now has more business-oriented questions. Can you stay after the meeting? Yeah, I can stay after the meeting, Jaroslav. But anyways, that's it. I would say you get a little bit less questions compared to the current version of a study hall, but it still is very good. The only thing I recommend you in your case, do that application, Ali, and start doing questions, and you might take the exam first 3 weeks of July. I have a couple of people already doing that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll set the goal for that. Perfect.
Any questions? Anybody
No,
else?
thank you.
My pleasure, Ali. Thank you for coming. And I guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop the recording.